the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it! He got it! He got it! Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Beautiful, sunny. I was about to say afternoon, and here it is. It's the second week of us doing this 11 o'clock start, so I thought I'd be used to it by now. Beautiful, sunny, clear morning.
There you go.
Up in Northwest Arkansas. Phil Elson at the ESPN 99.5 studios. Matty T and SmackDown at the ESPN Arkansas headquarters. Got sunny skies, no clouds outside your window, guys. I know you're just about an hour and 15 minutes away from me, but sometimes these geographical changes lead to much different looks outside.
A little overcast.
Yeah.
But it feels like a nice fall day, though.
Sure does.
And
man.
it is
it
officially
feels
fall.
Like
it was officially fall
on Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
Like fall has
looked at
arrived.
2 for Tuesday.
No doubt about it. The only thing that's different now is we're waiting for the leaves to change. I guess you give it, another 2-3 weeks?
Isn't that about mid-October when that happens?
I think it's supposed to be a little earlier this year, so maybe start getting out into the mountains for some drives in a couple of weeks. But, hey.
That'll be some fun time to fly that drone around.
Well, it's always a great time for you to be. You've been outside with the drone in 105 degrees, my man. It doesn't matter what the temperature is. You get out there in 0 degrees. I think you just like flying that.
Would you just pull over on the drive from Fort Smith to Fayetteville, on the side of the road and get out and just
either
fly
that
over
either that or wherever they ended up on that bridge.
Oh yeah, did they get them? They did. They got them down and they shot and killed them too, to prevent them from doing that again. The goats on the highway bridge.
You are aiding in the death of goats on highway bridges, SmackDown, and here it was.
What I do?
A nice person. I don't know. Maybe you're just helping out. This feels like great weather to be outside. It's perfect. I went out for a long bike ride yesterday. It's absolutely. You just don't even want to leave the path. So nice. This is going to be. Really. I know that there was some rain to the south of us throughout yesterday, but we are picture perfect, crystal clear for A1 beautiful weather for a football game on Saturday here in Fayetteville, in which the line continues to tilt towards Georgia. What are they now, 27.5-point favorite?
Yay.
So a few days after the first lines came out. Still not the biggest line in the SEC. A&M and Vanderbilt continue to be at about 30. The SEC media made their presence felt yesterday. And I guess this poll would have come out, about a month and a half ago under normal circumstances at the SEC media days. But since we never had media days, not even a media day, the media poll comes out yesterday, and you can't have any surprise here to see Arkansas picked last in the SEC West and essentially chosen 13th out of 14 teams in the SEC this year.
You're better than Vanderbilt. That's all that matters.
You're better than Vanderbilt, at least in the preseason. But, of course, what happened when those two teams matched up on the football field last time?
We're not going to bring that up.
No reason to. Bob Holt joining us at 11:30. He put his top 14 out. He's got Arkansas at 13 as well. So, it may be a little surprising, though, because we could use the term chalk when you see Alabama and LSU chosen 1 and 2 in the Western Division. I think you would say it would usually be chalk to have Florida and Georgia atop the East Division, but it does feel a little bit different right now, SmackDown, to see Georgia chosen as the runner-up to Florida amongst the SEC media members. And I'd really be interested to see how many of those people changed their vote after Jamie Newman's opting out. There have been a number of other media members. I forget the guy at a Saturday Down South. Was it Connor? I think it was Connor O'Gara who said that he changed his decision on who he thought would win the SEC East based upon and only upon Jamie Newman opting out and Kyle Trask being a more experienced and successful quarterback for the Florida Gators. So, you've got Florida with 53 first-place votes in the East, Florida at 43. There's pretty heavy separation in the West, with Alabama garnering 86 votes, and LSU picked up just 8. There can't be any surprise about the way things shake out on the West, with LSU losing so many pieces of last year's championship, and Alabama returning a lot of players from last year, and just the overall pedigree of what Alabama usually has. But it's got to be a bit of a surprise to see Florida picked over Georgia in the East. I think Trask is going to be outstanding. I didn't know how Jamie Newman would look, but I still smack down would go with Georgia over Florida. What about you?
Yeah, I would still go with. I would probably go Florida over Georgia just based off that reason alone because of the uncertainty that Georgia has a quarterback, which I say uncertainty. It's not really uncertain. I think you'll probably see a good blend of both of those guys between DeJuan Mathis and JT Daniels this year, assuming JT is cleared to go. And I think that's the bare difference right now between Georgia and Florida is just at quarterback. And I'm like you, I don't know how much of a difference Jamie Newman would have made in that. I mean, I feel like everybody would probably went with Kyle Trask over Jamie Newman if both of those guys were lined up under center game one. That's just my personal opinion, but not surprised. I think Florida right now would probably be the better team on paper. That could and we have the right to change our opinion after we see this week here.
I think there's some more question marks about the Georgia offense than the Florida offense.
Yep.
Quarterback may be at the top of the list, but I mean they also lost 4 of the 5 usual starters on the offensive line. They return guys that made starts last year, not just the center, Trey Hill, who started all of their games, but a couple of the guys that started the last 2 or 3 games, including the Sugar Bowl win over Baylor. So, I mean, when you look at the idea that Georgia is only returning 1 of their usual starting offensive linemen, the others that are on that offensive line did start at least a couple of games last year, and those were games, by the way, that Georgia won. So the Georgia defense, though, for me, and I know Florida's defense is going to be fine, I don't know if there's a better defense out there than UGA. And that's why I would pick the Bulldogs over the Florida Gators. I think it'll be interesting also to watch Trask as the dude to start the season.
Too, yeah.
Last year, nobody knew who this guy was going into the season except for his teammates and his parents. He was squarely behind Arkansas's starting quarterback last year, Felipe Franks.
Yeah.
In the pecking order, Trask had never been a starter. And I guess that's why it made, even in high school, that's why it made it such a great story and so much fun to follow, was that he steps in to an established starter's role in Franks after that injury and doesn't just play well, but he played terrifically. But that was in, the surprise in the middle of the season. Now it's on his shoulders, SmackDown, so I guess it's all a matter of how he handles it.
Can we just also talk about the 2 people that voted Texas A&M to win the SEC West?
Well, all right. So, I mean,
or
that's
the 8
interesting.
that picked LSU?
Right. Do you think it should have been 100% Alabama votes?
I would. To me,
you really expect that at least a handful of the LSU sports media aren't going to choose LSU first place every single year just
fair.
Because?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but you can't sit there and honestly tell me that they think Texas A&M is going to win the SEC West.
No, I don't think so. But I tell you, I mean, this is the year over the last 2 seasons that everybody attached to A&M and the media attached to A&M and the guys at Texags would point to. So this is the year that Jimbo's building towards. They return a ton of talent on both sides of the ball from last year. And, I mean, hey, they've got what feels to me like being a very talented but also a very inconsistent quarterback in Kellen Mond. But, I mean, there'd be no way that I'd see A&M picking up the Western Division Championship this year unless, and I mean, it'd be, what's going to happen with Alabama and LSU at quarterback? A&M's more settled at that position, I think, than those two. But with Alabama, I mean, you're wondering, can Mac Jones be a full-time starter all year long? Is Bryce Young really ready to step in as a true freshman maybe and assume that starting role at some point? But you do have a bit of a controversy there, so that could be interesting.
And I
Not
just
like
wonder,
Alabama's needed great quarterback play, by the way, to win national championships over the last 12 years.
And I just wonder how many of these questions that we have, like what you just brought up, Mac Jones or Bryce Young at Alabama, what we think of A&M, what we think of LSU, what we think of Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, all these teams. I wonder how many of these questions will be answered after Saturday.
None.
Exactly. So.
None. Not one game tells you not and tells you little. Tells you very little. So we do have, there's one Razorback on the preseason polls. I hate preseason all-star teams. I hate predictions, but for me, the preseason predictions on the standings make a lot more sense than preseason predictions on player of the year or first, second, third team and all that kind of stuff. So I mean that all that tells you is a snapshot of what people think the season might look like. By the end of the season, will Rakeem Boyd be the second best running back in the SEC, or will he be one of the top two? I said second best, I meant third best. Will he be one of the top two, any better than Kylan Hill or Najee Harris? He's going to have to do a little bit more heavy lifting than those two. And I found it interesting listening to Sam Pittman's radio show yesterday. Chuck asked him, how many carries do you want Boyd to get? I think he meant how many touches more than carries. 18 to anywhere up to 30 for Boyd. I wonder if Rakeem can handle 30 touches a game. That'll be interesting to see. 877-377-6963 on halftime. We are right back.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon. Touchdown, Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot, you know.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to-go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to-go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
The biggest selection and the lowest prices on a new Buick are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2020 Buick Encore has plenty of cargo space and it's loaded with technology, only $19,995. And the 2020 Buick Envision has all the features and seating for 5. Take $9,000 off, only $28,985. The biggest selection and the lowest prices are at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Whitson Morgan Motor Company, your 2020 Dealer Rater Dealer of the Year, has 4 great locations in the River Valley, giving you a huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Choose from Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Chevrolet vehicles right now at Whitson Morgan Motor Company. See their reviews and compare with others. That many people can't be wrong. Visit Whitson Morgan in Clarksville, Ozark, and Russellville, or log on at whitsonmorgan.com for selections and great deals to serve you today.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art high-speed fiber internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you ready to take the next step? Want to make real money? How about averaging $2,800 per week? United Welding Institute is accepting new students to shape into high-paid career welders. Graduates of United Welding Institute find great-paying jobs in the oil field, power plants, refineries, pipelines, and more. United Welding Institute in Pottsville, Arkansas has been training professional field-tested welders since 2013. Change your life and call 479-968-3390 or visit UnitedWeldingInstitute.com.
Ben Guerin Community Complex, the former First Tee of Fort Smith, is now open. This will be a learning facility again with PGA professional Matt Brown teaching at the Youth Golf Academy. Our junior golfers can learn the fundamentals of golf on the updated 9-hole course and practice facility. People of all ages can enjoy golf at the Ben Guerin Community Complex. Play a quick round of golf, play foot golf, or work on your game on the chipping and putting greens, or hit a bucket of balls on the driving range. Now open, the Ben Guerin Community Complex at Ben Guerin Park.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Put your hand down. You smiling. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football. Football's fun.
Fun, sir.
Fun, sir.
It's fun.
Yes.
You sure?
I think.
Now you're thinking. First you smile, then you think. You think football is still fun?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes. No.
No?
Sir. But it was fun.
Not anymore, though, is it? Is it?
No, not right
now. No, it's not fun anymore. Not even a little bit.
No.
Make up your mind.
No.
Think. Since you're thinking now, go on, think.
No,
is it fun?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Absolutely not?
Zero fun, sir.
All right, listen up. I'm Coach Boone. I'm going to tell you all about how much fun you're going to have this season.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
Heard the guys in the morning rush talking about remembering the Titans this morning. That's because yesterday was the 20th anniversary of the release. We did discuss that a little bit. I don't know if you heard Le Batard this morning. This is funny. For those of you who point out to the idea of liking a sports movie because of its realism, and I guess I hadn't thought about this. So he had James Conner, the Pittsburgh running back, on, and Conner's favorite sports movie is Remember the Titans. So Le Batard goes at him. So the first question was, how can you be a football player, have that be your favorite movie, and have the game, the big game at the end on an 80-yard double reverse, which never works. This is like a guaranteed 10-yard loss. So, yeah, don't bring the idea of it being realistic with that happening. So, and by the way, I'll get into the idea of sports movies that legitimately should be mandatory watching for anybody that is a sports radio host once we get later on in those first hour.
I don't know what you're referring to here.
Yeah, I think you have a perfect idea of what I'm getting at. We should have some fun with this. 877-377-6963 is the number to get with us. We usually go through some of the games that we're looking forward to this weekend. The first thing to point out, though, are the games that aren't being played. And now the total of postponements or cancellations over the first month of the football season is up to 21. That's 4 cancellations so far this weekend. North Texas at Houston. Who would like to sign up to be the 5th try at Houston's first opponent? That's incredible. I know some
a bad luck charm, it sounds like.
Ruskin, who is doing the afternoon show here at on our station, he does the play-by-play for Bentonville West, and they had their game with Fayetteville canceled, of course, this next Saturday. I think he's had to prepare for 3 different teams that haven't even gotten on the field yet. And the amount of work it actually takes to put together a football spotting board. That takes some time. So it's just a whole bunch of wasted time. Or I guess he's doing prep for somebody else if they just ask him for that spotting board. But yeah, could you imagine being Dana Holgorsen and the Houston Cougars? They have prepared for 4 teams that they haven't even gotten on the field with. That's ridiculous. Tulsa and Arkansas State is it postponed or canceled? I'm not quite sure which one that is. Notre Dame Wake Forest rescheduled to early December, and you wonder about what happened in South Bend last weekend because Notre Dame has had to pause their football activities because of the virus. Their postponement with Wake Forest is more about the Irish than it is about the Deacons. South Florida had to postpone this weekend's game at Florida Atlantic. And, Notre Dame beat up on South Florida this past Saturday. You wonder if that virus might have been transmissed. Is that the word? Might have been given or dealt from one team to the other on the field on Saturday. This is one of the things we've wondered about. I mean, and I forget who it was that asked this yesterday about the NFL fining coaches for not wearing a mask on the sidelines. And the question is, well, if they're all tested and they all pass the test, then what's the reason for the mask? You say, well, you know what? These tests might not be 100% reliable. So in the off chance that some of these tests are not, even if it's 3 tests a week, this kind of stuff might happen, unfortunately. So, and I don't know if that's the reason why South Florida and Notre Dame aren't playing this weekend, but it's got to be something you look into. No doubt about that. Yeah, transmitted. Thank you, Doug. I need my English dictionary next to me today.
Yeah, you got to look into it. I mean, it's something that we're going to have to prepare for. I mean, sadly, it's a matter of time before it happens. I mean, we talked about this yesterday, and we've mentioned it a couple times, and also on the Morning Rush. When Yurchek was on with them on the Morning Rush, if the games would have been last weekend, there would have been players missing. They still would have been able to play, but there would have been players missing. Now it's just going to come down to, and we talked about the nerves, and you brought this up with Sam Pittman live a couple nights ago. The amount of nerves that Sam Pittman has right now, for just being a first-time head coach in the SEC with like all the regular nerves that you feel, but now you've got the nerves of them testing, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, today and tomorrow, or yesterday and tomorrow. I don't remember.
I think they tested yesterday, and I think tomorrow.
I know there is a test tomorrow, so. But the nerves that he has to have going into this, thinking like, what if Felipe Franks was to get caught, or Rakeem Boyd, Grant Morgan, or any of those guys?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's got to be certain levels of nerves here. You know, the usual nerves of being a head coach in your first ever game, the nerves of going up against a national contender, the nerves of just being responsible for a bunch of 18 to 23-year-old men. And then the other idea, I mean, those are just normal nerves of being a head coach in football. Like what's going to happen this week. And then you could just imagine the feeling of being on pins and needles all week with the amount of testing that gets done. And if one positive test comes back, what that could do to the depth of the rest of the team based upon contact tracing. So I think you're absolutely right, SmackDown. Like I don't. To me, honestly, Sam Pittman doesn't seem like a pretty nervous dude. Like I don't think he's one of these coaches that's a nervous ball of energy. But you got to have a little extra nerves based upon all of this stuff. Even taking away the COVID aspect of it, add the COVID aspect to it, and you're on pins and needles all week.
Absolutely, I mean, and that's just part of it. I mean, everything else that what you would expect in a first-year coach, and in his position, literally the first time ever he's being a head coach. I mean, that just comes with it. And he's handled it like a champ. And there's no precedent. There's no book to go by. There's no how-to for him how to deal with the situation that he's in right now. You just got to hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. Because I mean, it seems like every time you get prepared and you do what you think is the right thing, 2020 just throws you a curveball and throws you a knuckleball, and there you go. So.
Doug
got to be ready to rock and roll.
Doug in Mountain Home asks a question that I don't know if there's an answer. What if Georgia comes in without a quarterback? So I don't think they can do that. There's still two other quarterbacks on that team that aren't D1 Mathis and JT Daniels.
Well, there's also certain protocol that they have to follow, too, from the SEC.
Well, and I know that the other leagues, I guess the SEC has done the same thing. Like you have to have X amount. And I don't remember the amount. Is it 7 offensive linemen, 4 defensive linemen, and at least 1 quarterback? So if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a team. Like you can't play, or you're not supposed to play at that point. So if Georgia does not have a quarterback on Saturday, Doug, there's not going to be a game. It'll be a no contest and will be rescheduled to one of the 2 bye weeks.
And
I don't think that'll be the case, though.
No, and that's what we've talked about several times with the Big Ten. The Big Ten left them no wiggle room for instances like this. I mean, so that's going to be interesting to kind of see how this thing plays out. But if this was to happen in Arkansas, yeah.
He asks another question that's legit here, SmackDown, and we've wondered about this. This is also why coaches have to overly worry about how they construct the position group rooms and who is rooming with who and all that kind of stuff. So Doug asked, they've got a quarterback room, right? If one gets it, then what about everybody else? That's exactly right. That's also why you don't have your quarterbacks all in the same place at the same time, so that something like this doesn't happen, that if one quarterback gets sick, the others aren't forced to sit out. Now, I know there's been a lot of new organization on how you operate the team in and out of practice, in and out of meetings. The day is longer than it was before because you've got to stretch out the amount of time you have for fewer players. So I think they've tried to mitigate that issue, Doug, and that was, I mean, the contact tracing and the idea of being such a specialized sport based upon the positions. Like if you say like baseball, if a baseball team has 3 of their outfielders go down, or if they have all 6 outfielders go down, you can throw a shortstop and a second baseman out there. It's not going to look good, but it's not the same thing as trying to put a 180-pound defensive back on the defensive line, right? I mean, these things don't work, right?
Yeah.
So that they've tried to mitigate that. I think that they've done it. By the way, you are looking for a new RV these days, because it's a great time to be getting outdoors and enjoy the roads, especially when the leaves turn and change colors. So get to Wheels RV in Springdale, because they are stocking more travel trailers than ever before. All the top brands, Grand Design, Forest River Vibe, KVZ Sportsman, and the Fifth Wheel Paradigm, which is the hottest new fifth wheel in the industry from Alliance RV. Now, you've heard of Wheels because they've been in business for over 20 years, but they have new owners, Lee and Chris, dedicated to customer service. Plus, they're the only lifetime warranty dealer in all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Get you top dollar for trades, best deals on new RVs in Northwest Arkansas. That's Wheels RV, 5 miles west off Exit 72 in Springdale and underneath the Tawnytown Water Tower, also at wheelsrv.net. Bob Holt.
At Frank Roll Furniture, everything is on sale. Why order when you can have it today? We carry refrigerators, French doors, GE washers and dryers, 100% made in USA, speed clean laundry, gas cold top and smooth top ranges, dishwashers, mattresses, recliners, big man recliners, lift chairs, sofa and loves, recliner sofa and loves, beds, chests, dresses, mirrors, nightstands, headboards, and table and chairs. Your one-stop store for all your furniture and appliances. Frank Roll Furniture, best seats in the house.
A little girl asked me one time, Pastor, does the devil have a mother? I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second. Yes, he does. Her name is pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
In September at Frank Roll Furniture, everything is on sale. Why order when you can have it today? We carry refrigerators, French doors, GE washers and dryers, 100% made in USA, speed clean laundry, gas cold top and smooth top ranges, dishwashers, mattresses, recliners, big man recliners, lift chairs, sofa and loves, recliner sofa and loves, beds, chests, dresses, mirrors, nightstands, headboards, and table and chairs. Your one-stop store for all your furniture and appliances. Frank Roll Furniture, best seats in the house.
A little girl asked me one time, Pastor, does the devil have a mother? I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second. Yes, he does. Her name is pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
In September at Frank Roll Furniture, everything is on sale. Why order when you can have it today? We carry refrigerators, French doors, GE washers and dryers, 100% made in USA, speed clean laundry, gas cold top and smooth top ranges, dishwashers, mattresses, recliners, big man recliners, lift chairs, sofa and loves, recliner sofa and loves, beds, chests, dresses, mirrors, nightstands, headboards, and table and chairs. Your one-stop store for all your furniture and appliances. Frank Roll Furniture, best seats in the house.
A little girl asked me one time, Pastor, does the devil have a mother? I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second. Yes, he does. Her name is pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at
From the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. And before we get into some of this football stuff here, Bob, I just saw coming across the wire, I guess there isn't a wire anymore, but on Twitter, Alex Gordon is calling it a career. Longtime Kansas City Royal, former first overall pick of the Major League Baseball draft. He had played, did he play for Dave at Nebraska? I think he was at least recruited by Dave at Nebraska. Won a World Series there, got with the Naturals. I remember meeting you the first time, Bob, at Arvest Ballpark. Did you ever cover Alex Gordon?
You know, I think I might have done a game where he was on a rehab assignment out there, but I couldn't swear to it. But I don't recall ever talking to him. I know he was a great player and, you know, did it for a long time. And, gosh, he must be in his upper 30s, right? Or how old is he now?
36. That's mid-30s.
Okay, well, I don't know if that's upper. I guess anything over 35. But, yeah, he had a really good career, and you know, he played on some bad Royals teams like this year. I was just checking the standings, and the Tigers and the Royals are battling out for the basement in the AL Central. But he also, like you said, he played on 2 World Series teams, played on a World Championship team. So, yeah, you have to say he had a really, really great career.
Yeah. Hey, yesterday the first SEC coaches teleconference? I don't remember any during the build-up to this first week, so I read your piece in the Democrat. You got to speak with all these coaches, and I got to give you. I mentioned it on Twitter yesterday. We're going to have to give you props for having that great question for Coach O about his 60 Minutes piece, in which he said he didn't know where the University of Arkansas was located. I mean, he doesn't seem to me to be the kind of guy that's going to lie to 60 Minutes about that. So I guess he must have been telling the truth.
Well, yeah, and maybe there's some confusion on my part when I watched by the way, that was the first coaches teleconference because, you know, it was the first game we were having. But, you know, I watched the piece. You know, it got promoted a lot, so I like to watch 60 Minutes anyway. I usually try to. And he said he was like shoveling shrimp. That's kind of hard to say on a boat. And then he got a call from somebody about the job up in Arkansas, and he said, I didn't even know where Arkansas was. Well, my thought was, even though the state of Arkansas is like right above Louisiana, you know, and so I thought, well, I wonder if he was joking, you know, just kind of, you know, exaggerating for fun. And so I wanted to ask him his thought about being on 60 Minutes because, you know, I should have checked with somebody. I can't remember an SEC, you know, coach, basketball, football, whatever, ever being on 60 Minutes. I know sometimes they do sports stories with somebody like Michael Jordan or, you know, somebody like that. But, you know, I remember they did a Johnny Carson. You know, they do some pop culture things. But, you know, doing an SC football coach, that seems out of the realm of 60 Minutes normally. But yeah, I just wanted to ask Ed about, I think I meant to say, hey, were you joking? Were you kidding? I think I said, did you make that up? I certainly wasn't trying to accuse him of being a liar. And that's, to me, when he clarified it, he knew where the state Arkansas, he knew it was, you know, above Louisiana, but he didn't know where Fayetteville was, or you know, how to get to the university. And that I could believe because you're talking about a guy in his 20s who's lived his whole life in Louisiana. And, you know, we were talking about the mid-'80s. Fayetteville was much more isolated than it is now. I mean, they had a tiny airport. You know, roads are hard to get to. I mean, it's a great place. I moved here in the early 80s, but it's much more open and much bigger now. Back then, it was a real small college town, and, you know, relatively small, I guess, maybe 30,000 or something. So, but yeah, some LSU fans took it like I was insulting or whatever, which was not my intention at all. I think this is typical of Twitter. People see things, you know, on Twitter, but they weren't like listening or they weren't watching, and then they overreact to it. But that's sort of the good and the bad of Twitter.
Leave it to hypersensitive college sports fans to take something a little bit too far like that. So, I mean, there was that image of Coach O running shirtless on 60 Minutes. I now can't shake the image of a shirtless Coach O shoveling shrimp when he gets this phone call, so thanks for that. You know, I wanted to ask also about this this is it a statistician, the professor from the Department of Epidemiology and Biostats at South Carolina. We have been giving so much credit to the SEC for not doing what the Big Ten and the Pac-12 did, which is postpone a season before you really needed to, because of an idea of patience, a thought of this virus has never been around before. We don't really know much. We don't know enough about it to make these hard decisions right now. It's playing out in front of us. It still might not be the right decision. I happen to think that it is, but apparently the way the SEC has gone about it has a lot to do with a specific professor at the University of South Carolina. Tell us about her.
Well, yeah, and I didn't know her name, Stella Sell. I thought about doing a little headline like how Stella helped the SEC get its groove back. But I thought, there's probably enough people that are old enough to remember that movie. Hopefully you remember. But really going back to August when the Big Ten announced they were going to cancel the season or postpone it until the spring at least. Greg Sankey was on, the SEC Network and other shows, and I listened or watched some interviews, and he didn't name the professor because I think she kind of wanted to stay anonymous. But he talked about how a professor had told him. I don't even think he said where she was from. I don't even remember if he said it was a male or female. But he talked about how this professor, said, "Hey, this is a new virus. We're learning more about it every day. The more information you have, the better decisions you can make. So you shouldn't make decisions until you absolutely have to." And so that really led to a deliberate, thoughtful process where, you weren't making any guarantees. I mean, Greg Sankey wasn't saying in August, well, we're definitely going to have a season, and who cares if anybody else thinks we're going to, we're the SEC, by God, and we're going to play. No, it was very, we're going to kind of take this day by day and not rush to judgment. And it's, we don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully all the SEC teams will play on Saturday, but there's still, teams got tested yesterday. They're going to get tested today, I guess, before some teams would travel on Friday. So, but that was a smart approach to take. I mean, why make a decision before you have to? And that's why I didn't really understand the Big Ten's decision. And the Pac-12, I think they were just doing what the Big Ten did. I don't think the Pac-12 really was acting on their own. And now you see the Big Ten, scrambling to try to get 8 games in 8 weeks in late October. And the Pac-12, of course, the folks out there have all the wildfires to deal with. They have a whole other set of circumstances, but they're trying to play too in Mountain West and whoever. So it's just kind of, I think we don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the season. I think we can agree the SEC took the right approach, and this professor from South Carolina, I think had a big influence on Greg Sankey. So that's good for everybody.
Speaking to Bob Holt here on Halftime. Bob, let's talk a little bit about Arkansas, Georgia coming up this Saturday at 3 p.m. at Razorback Stadium. Do you think Arkansas may catch and I don't mean this as a knock on Georgia's offense because it's going to be potent probably by the end of the year, but do you think it might be a little bit lackluster offensively for the Bulldogs based off just we don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Bulldogs? Do you think that could play in Arkansas's favor defensively?
Well, I'm sure Georgia knows who their starting quarterback's going to be. I think the fact, Arkansas's got an experienced quarterback in Felipe Franks. He started at Florida, and then, of course, he got hurt last year. But Georgia, whoever they start at quarterback is the guy that's going to be the first time they started for Georgia. DeJuan Mathis, who seems to be the odds-on favorite to start, he's a redshirt freshman who, overcame brain surgery to come back to play. And then you have J.T. Daniels, who's a transfer from Southern Cal, but he only played 1 game last season. He's coming off a knee injury. And Kirby Smart keeps saying he hadn't been cleared to play. He also said, well, we wouldn't have practiced him if we thought he wouldn't be cleared. But so maybe they're waiting until, Thursday at midnight or something to test him. But, if he plays, he's got college experience. He's played in 12 games at USC, but he hadn't played in a whole year. So I think it helps Arkansas to be playing a team with, a lack of experience at quarterback, either a guy that hadn't played in a year or somebody that's never played a college game before, They do have another backup who played a little bit off the bench, and they got a true freshman. But, I think that could help. I don't think Georgia's got a lot of firepower. Their offensive line, their running backs, their receivers, they've got a ton of talent. But still, they don't have an experienced quarterback, so that's a plus for Arkansas, I think.
Where's your confidence level heading into Saturday? Just not necessarily for a win, because I think it's slim to none, but there's still a chance, and there's always a chance that the Razorbacks could pull the upset of a century in game one. But where's your confidence level heading into Saturday?
About how Arkansas is going to play? Or
how Arkansas is going to play, how they're going to look under the first game of Sam Pittman, just those different facets of the game that we keep talking about.
Well, of course, a big impact could be how many players does each team lose to the COVID testing. We don't know. I mean, if Arkansas loses 2 starters and Georgia loses 10 starters, obviously that favors Arkansas. But I think Arkansas will give a good account of themselves. The Razorbacks will. Don't necessarily mean they're going to upset Georgia, but I do think this will be a pretty well-coached team. They do have some strengths. I mean, Rakeem Boyd's a really good running back. Like I say, Felipe Frank's an experienced quarterback, and they have really good receivers. They've got some veteran guys on defense and some newcomers like, Julius Coates and Dorian Gerald being back, I think can help them up front. But you just got to wonder, and we've seen this in these early season games, there wasn't any spring practice. There, guys conditioned on their own for, several weeks in the spring. And so you're seeing conditioning has come into play. You're seeing more turnovers, kicking game mistakes, big returns, block kicks, whatever it might be. And so the big question is, can a team like Arkansas with a new coaching staff and some new players in key spots, can they, because Felipe Franks is experienced, but he's new to Arkansas, so can they minimize the mistakes with all the circumstances that have made this such a crazy season, preseason at least. So I think the Razorbacks will give a good account of themselves, but just a lot of uncertainties with who's going to be available, who's not, and how's everything going to go with the new coaching staff on game day.
Last thing here, Bob. You saw with Baylor and Houston being canceled, really. Holgerson is pretty ticked off at Dave Aranda, and he didn't think that Baylor was forthcoming with information they should have been. We have a controversy going on up here in Northwest Arkansas involving the same thing in football with Fayetteville. Do you think that SEC programs trust each other to be honest about infections on the teams?
I think the teams will and should follow their policies set forth, by the conference. Greg Sankey. I know Sam. I thought it was interesting. Sam Pittman on his radio show last night said he and Kirby Smart, the Georgia coach who he worked for the last 4 years, and they're friends, obviously, but they're also competitors. But he talked about texting back and forth with Kirby. So I think there has to be some exchange of information, like, hey, here's our numbers right now, we expect to play, or, man, things aren't looking good, or something like that. And what Sam said last night on the radio was that right now they've got plenty of players to play. He didn't say they have everybody, but he said they have plenty of players. But he also said, hey, we tested today and they didn't have the results back, I guess, and we're testing tomorrow, meaning today. So I think the schools owe it to each other from a safety standpoint, and also kind of from a preparedness standpoint. Like if you know on Wednesday you're not going to play, well, you need to let the other team know, as soon as it's possible. But you also kind of need to let, I think, the other team know about safety issues, and how things are going. I know Eli Drinkwitz, an Alma native who's the Missouri coach, he's been very transparent about numbers from Missouri, and he said he just feels like that's the right thing to do from a health standpoint. And then there's the whole public health angle to it, that the football team or whatever sports team might be isn't an island unto itself. It's part of the university community, which is part of the Northwest Arkansas community and part of the state of Arkansas and everything else. So, but yeah, I think the SEC officials, they encourage, these teams go at it tooth and nail, but at the end of the day, they're all part of the SEC too. So I think whatever the officials feel like is the best and safest approach is what, all the teams are going to have to fall in line with that, or feel the wrath of the SEC office.
Got to run, Bob. Appreciate you, man. Enjoy watching it on Saturday. And
thank you, sir.
We'll be reading you and look forward to talking next week. Thank you.
Okay, you guys take care.
Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, the one and only in the GOAT. Hey, if you are suffering from sleep apnea, remember this isn't a problem that's only for the older or for overweight. This affects almost anybody, even children. So if you or someone you know is tired all the time, it very well could be sleep apnea. And without a treatment for this can lead to a lot of serious health issues or even a traffic accident. So do not risk your health or that of a loved one. Make an appointment today with Dr. Bo Sparkman at Family Dental Care of Fort Smith. They can treat your apnea without the hassle of those annoying CPAP machines. Just call 479-754-1419 for an appointment. 479-754-1419 for an appointment. Get rid of your sleep apnea with Dr. Bo Sparkman and Family Dental Care of Fort Smith.
It's football season, and you can lock in your price with Dish when you make the move right now with World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. And that's 2 long years, 2 long football seasons with World of Wireless.
Save money, save money, save money, and get better picture quality, get better features in your Hopper system. Speak to your remote and say, find the football game, find the Razorbacks, find the baseball game. The system does it all for you. You can even tell it to turn down your thermostat if you get a Google Nest thermostat, all from your remote control.
Plus, with the Hopper system, you can record up to 16 of your favorite games at once.
That's right. You can record all the. Now, the problem is there's not really 16 games
Probably
on.
not this year.
A lot of leagues aren't playing, so maybe you can record 4, but you can record up to 16 events, so maybe you can record 15 of your wife shows and 1 of your football games.
There you go.
Come by and see us at our new location in Barling right next to Frank Rowe Furniture, or call us at 877-305-DISH, or go to our website, shopwownow.com.
That's 877-305-DISH for WOW World of Wireless.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Evans Body Shop wants you to know that we are here for you. During this uncertain time, let us take the wheel and get your car repaired so you are ready to roll when the time comes. We offer pickup and delivery and will sanitize your vehicle during your complimentary detail that is done with all repairs. Don't want to get out at all? We have you covered. We offer a mobile estimating tool that allows you to take a few pictures, and we will email or text your estimate directly to you. Check out our website or Facebook for more details.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dealing with a CPAP every night? The noise, the constant cleaning, your wife telling you she can't take the noise anymore. Dr. Bo Sparkman at Family Dental Care of Fort Smith can help you with sleep apnea with a custom dental appliance that allows you to get rid of that annoying CPAP. Dr. Sparkman has years of experience and has treated hundreds of patients just like you. Call for your appointment today, 785-1419. That's 785-1419. Get rid of your CPAP with Family Dental Care of Fort Smith.
Have you had someone back out of a contract and you don't know what to do? Or maybe you have a problem with your boss. It may be time to sit down with a lawyer and discuss your options. The attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners are ready to give advice on your next step. Kevin Hickey Law Partners are experienced in all types of lawsuits. If you have a dispute that may involve going to court, don't just hire any lawyer. Contact Kevin Hickey Law Partners. Give them a call at 479-434-2014 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out online at kevinhickeylaw.com.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
This is Brett Good, former Razorback and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves to be on a winning team. That is why I have joined Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Henderson Phillips can help you tackle all your employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solutions. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
This is ESPN 95.3. Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
I listen to public radio.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
Of Alex Gordon retiring, or at least announcing his retirement. I had asked Dave Van Horn a few moments ago about if he coached him at Nebraska. Dave signed Alex Gordon for Nebraska and then left for Arkansas. So his first year at Arkansas, I think, was Gordon's first of the 3 years at Nebraska, was eventually the Golden Spikes winner, the top overall pick. And doesn't that say something about Dave's love of Arkansas? SmackDown when, I mean, I'm sure he didn't know that Gordon would have been a Golden Spikes winner and first overall pick, but he obviously knew he was a pretty special player. And he signs him and then comes home to Arkansas. It says a lot about his love of this place.
That sounds about right.
I think so. Games to watch this weekend. I'm fired up on Saturday to watch my 21st ranked Pitt Panthers take on number 24 Louisville. Not a big fan of the uniforms that they've made a big deal about recently, in which I guess they're darkening the lettering a little bit. I mean, I don't see there's any reason why you go away from the Pitt script logo, the bright blue logo on the bright yellow helmets. And from my way of thinking, and I know I'm a Pitt fan, but I'm not the only person that thinks this, I think those are the best uniforms in college football. That Pitt script logo is classic. It's awesome.
Beautiful.
I love it.
It's one of those logos and uniforms that you can't mistake it.
That's the Dan Marino, Tony Dorsett Pitt script logo. That's the one I grew up with, and they shouldn't be wearing it for a big game against Louisville. But that's one of only 3 games involving ranked teams this weekend. I didn't ask Bob about why he picked LSU hosting Mississippi State as the SEC game of the week. I mean, that's the game that CBS chose to broadcast, more because of, I think, LSU being defended national champions than anything. Because I don't think that's the best game in the SEC this weekend. I think it's Kentucky and Auburn.
Got the most intrigue.
Well, I mean, these are 2 outstanding defenses that you've got some, I guess you'd say maybe some more question marks about the Auburn offense than about the Kentucky offense. Like, I like the running backs that Kentucky's got. I like Terry Wilson at quarterback. I think there are more questions about Bo Nix than about Terry Wilson right now, just because he's a sophomore where Wilson is a more experienced senior. The defenses are outstanding. I think Stoops is one of the best head coaches in the SEC, and boy, has he proven that these last 2 years. And, hey, we all want to see, what Chad Morris does as an offensive coordinator, which is really where he belongs. That, to me, is the best game of this weekend in the SEC. And really, there aren't many others, I think, that you could choose from, except maybe Tennessee, South Carolina. Other than that, those are the 2 best games.
And I wonder how many Kentucky fans Arkansas is going to have this year. For Kentucky football fans are going to be in Arkansas just to see Auburn lose, and hopefully a sour debut for Chad Morris is all I meant by that.
All of a sudden, a little corner of BBN opens up here in Northwest Arkansas. I apologize for saying those 3 letters next to each other. Like,
for Kentucky football?
Are there 3 other letters in that involve anybody in the SEC that just makes you want to stick your finger down your mouth and all the way down your throat?
I can think of 5.
B-N.
I can think of 5 letters that would gig them.
Gig them? Okay. That's up there. But it's not the name for their fan base.
Fair.
That's the thing. Like, I hate names for fan bases. This nation, that nation, Big Blue Nation. Oh, goodness gracious.
Either that or the 1 week period where Ashley Judd is popular for Kentucky.
I'd still watch any of her movies. Other game. There's 3 games involving ranked teams this weekend. Mentioned Louisville, Pitt, Kentucky, Auburn, Army, and Cincinnati. Big game in the American Conference. 22nd ranked Black Knights. They were postponed. Was it last week against BYU or the week before? It's tough. You're gonna get forgetful about which game was postponed and which game was not. Other games of interest outside the SEC: Iowa State at TCU. Iowa State, of course, suffered a fairly humiliating defeat at home to Louisiana, although it's a good Louisiana team. TCU hasn't played yet, so we'll see how that shakes out. West Virginia at Oklahoma State might be interesting, although the Cowboys have won the last 5 meetings with the Nears. And then your on-site game day game for ESPN is Florida State at number 12 Miami. Canes are an 11.5-point favorite.
That's just got the name recognition, just from the classic games that you saw back in the early 90s and late 80s with Florida State and Miami. So that'll probably be a good one. And heck, you just did all my work for game day picks, for halftime picks for tomorrow.
That's why I did this. Is why
Thank
I
you.
put these ones up there so that I can start doing the research on these games before you put the games up there. So it's me really choosing the games for you, SmackDown.
Is that
Keep
fair?
that in mind.
That's
This
fine.
is
Me and Matty T will still whoop your butt.
This is me now trying to outmaneuver you to pick better games for me. JT wants to know the spread.
Whoa, easy.
JT wants to know the spread on Auburn, Kentucky. I don't think that's the closest spread this week. It's Auburn favored 7.5. Tennessee is a 4-point favorite over South Carolina. That's the shortest line or the smallest line.
I genuinely think, and I joked about it yesterday with Chad Morris. Kentucky's got the opportunity to pull the upset here.
I think there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Kentucky is good, and they may end up they'll be better than last year unless Wilson goes down. I don't know if Joey Gatewood's been cleared by the NCAA waiver committee yet. That's the former Auburn quarterback. That would have also made this that would have been another interesting aspect of the game. Lots coming up in the second hour here on Halftime, which involves absolutely no guests except for you and us. 877-377-6963, the number to get with us. Lots to get to. Some news involving the Hogs, Major League Baseball, halftime homework, and more. Stay tuned.
Is excited to announce their state-of-the-art mobile service van, stocked with all the latest tools and technology needed to service your vehicle. Everything from oil changes, warranty repair, battery, software updates, brake jobs, and so much more. All is done with your convenience and safety in mind. We'll come to your office or home to provide professional service the Randall Ford way. Stop by today at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue, or check us out online 24/7. RandallFord.com. Ford, the #1 selling brand in America.
The new $3 hotcake breakfast sandwich from Hardee's knows just how you like it. Your sausage, sizzling. And your eggs, fluffy. A full breakfast nestled between 2 sweet hotcakes. At only $3, the new hotcake breakfast sandwich is almost too good to be true. Wake up you're happy with the new hotcake breakfast sandwich. Part of the 2-3 more breakfast menu at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Offer valid for a limited time during regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
You have work to do. You need a tractor that helps get it done. TYM has the full range of tractors designed to meet the task. With the TYM easy-to-use controls and features, switching from one job to another is easy. And with the full range of models from 19 horsepower to 105 horsepower turbo, there is a TYM tractor that's right for the job and for you. But you can't buy a TYM tractor just anywhere. It's only sold at authorized TYM dealers like Bush Tractor, 7301 South Zero, Fort Smith.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Hello, sports fans. I know you are ready for sports to return. Hi, this is Sherry Traylor with Floyd Traylor Honda, and we have been proud to be your local hometown dealer for over 43 years. Come out and see us at 3200 South Zero Street and see all of our models we have in stock. Or give us a call at 479-434-5975. And you can check out our full inventory online at trailerhonda.net. And remember to please buy local.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Chance of showers and thunderstorms, especially across the south tonight. And overnight low will drop down into the mid to upper 50s. Now, a few leftover showers early across the south on Thursday. Otherwise, an increase in the sunshine. Highs mid-70s. Sunny skies closer to 80 Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson. Make sure to listen to the Morning Rush every weekday morning from 6 to 9 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Good station. KERX Paris Fort Smith.
This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
These guys are awesome, baby. You have these guys, ESPN in Arkansas. They do a good job.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Jones for the win. He got it. He got it. He got it. Mason Jones banks in a three with 0.1 seconds to play.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
One more hour of fun here on a Thursday before we send you out to the rest of your afternoon, and we are now in the afternoon, thank goodness. Phil Elson, SmackDown, Matty T here on Halftime. 877-377-6963 is the number to get with us here. So I'd ask the question of Bob Holt about what do you think the SEC coaches trust each other? So, I mean, there's a huge difference between usually being secretive about regular sports injuries. Like, in the NHL, all they do is refer to upper body injuries, lower body injuries. So, I mean, that could be a broken ankle, a hangnail, a sprained toe, a rash. I mean, it's just basically it's as basic as it gets. In the SEC, these coaches also think they hide some of the severity of injuries here and there, and there's reason for doing that. But the COVID aspect is a completely different thing. That's where you're also, at the same time of being responsible for the players on your team, you're responsible for the players on the other team.
Yes.
If the virus is transmitted. Now, that's one of the things I wonder about what happened in South Bend last weekend with South Florida Notre Dame. So, and, we'd mentioned, too, like, if you go back, if you read any of the quotes from Houston head coach Dana Holgorsen about the cancellation, the last-minute cancellation of their game with Baylor, they were 3 hours away from boarding the bus for Waco for the game when they got word we're not playing. Baylor canceled it. And it's all about not having a certain amount of players at each position group that you have to have. They had to have known that there was a chance that this could happen. But Houston was never given an inkling about this. Never. There's not going to be any repercussions from this because these are not two schools that play in the same league. So I don't really think there's anybody that could, from up on high, issue a punishment based upon if Baylor hid positive infections or not. I think once you get into your own league, these sort of punishments can and should come down if it is shown that any coach or any administrator hid positive tests or told players to hide the fact that they've been positive. Now, on the other hand here, let's bring this a little more local. We've got this controversy involving Fayetteville High School and head coach Casey Dick, in which there have been the text messages, or at least Snapchat messages, that KNWA got a hold of, that it seems he might have asked players to not let out that they had been infected with the virus. For the idea of, hey, we got a huge game Saturday against Bentonville West. We didn't have a game last week. Maybe you were tested positive last week, and by the time we get to Saturday, you're not positive any longer. Obviously, that's not the case. They've canceled the game. It's not happening. They're probably, and again, I'm not getting into did he or did he not know. I don't know whether or not. That's for others to worry about here. But I would imagine there is absolutely no way that Coach Dick or any of the other assistant coaches, or maybe even the athletic director at Fayetteville did not know that there were a certain number of positive tests, the players that tested positive. If that's the case, you need to be upfront with your opponents about this. Maybe you don't have to say, hey, our starting quarterback, our starting left tackle, our starting running back, two of our guys in the secondary tested positive last week, they might not play. But you should be upfront and honest with the number of positives you have. And I mean, honestly, this should be a rule. This should be a rule because you're not responsible for the opponent's health when it comes to usual football injuries. You can't transmit a broken arm or a sprained wrist from one guy to the next. You can transmit the virus. And in that case, if you are not upfront about these infections, then it's on you. If the game mattered more than the health of the players and the health of the opponents, then you probably need to find a different job. This is not the time for gamesmanship based upon secrecy on COVID tests for high school football, for college football, or anything else.
You're right on all the accounts, except the only issue that I have personally, and it's not with – you're right. The only issue that you'll run into with that argument and what other people is going to be the HIPAA rules and the HIPAA violation. And that's more pregnant on the high school level than the college level, but it still carries over into that. That's why you never know unless if a player comes out and says, like, Matt Jenkins had COVID or something like that, whatever. You don't hear the high school kids saying that. You don't hear the college kids saying it unless if they choose to, which is fine. That's the only issue, and it's more on the high school level that you can't publicize 200 kids had COVID or something like that. You're right. I hear where you're coming from.
I think you can give a number, not a name.
No, you cannot give a name. I know that for a fact. That's
what I'm getting to. You know, you don't have to say this kid has the virus, that kid has the virus, this position group we're having struggles with. But I think there should be a number that you can point to say this many kids tested positive, this many kids are in contact tracing, this is when we expect so-and-so number of kids to come out of quarantine. If that's the case, we can play on Saturday. If not, we can't. You know, and I think the issue with Casey Dick is a different situation because now you're dealing again. I'm not making any judgments on whether or not this was the case of what he did. This is a matter of parents accusing him of telling student athletes to not be upfront about it, not report, not tell anybody that you have the virus because you need to play. We need you on the field. If that's the case, then you got an issue, a real issue. But again, I'm not coming out and saying he did this or he didn't do this. But I do believe that there are ways of these teams communicating between each other that honor HIPAA laws and also honor your opponent and the idea that they need to at least know whether or not there's going to be a game. I mean, otherwise, what are you preparing for?
Absolutely. No, you're right. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to be upfront with testing numbers, but it's a balancing act that these coaches and players and health officials and all these people that are associated with these school districts at the high school level, college level, different things like that, to be upfront and let you know. And plus the other aspect of it where all these colleges and universities have thousands of tests at their disposals, it's 100 times different at the high school, even at the 7A level where you don't have these massive testing facilities for the 7A conference or 6A conference or whatever. It comes out of the kid's back pocket, comes out of the parents' back pocket to go get these tests done. It's just all these different avenues of how to do it.
I know it's a different story, SmackDown, but does this not remind you at least a little bit of the whole Houston Nut thing? I mean, you've got FOI requests, you got text messages that are being released. You know, you've got the athletic director from the University of Arkansas getting involved on Twitter because his son plays for Fayetteville. I mean, this is an Arkansas sports story, man. It just feels a little bit different than those two handfuls of years ago.
Similar story, different people involved.
Yes, exactly right. Hopefully this is, something that, and again, this is an aspect of, this is a whole new situation. We've never had to deal with, worrying about transmitting a truly deadly virus through playing a sport. So, I guess we're all learning how to deal with this in ways that we never had to before.
You can read that story on KNWA.com. It's on the NWA homepage.com if you want to read about what we're discussing here with former Razorback quarterback Casey Dick in Fayetteville High School.
Well, Doug in Fayetteville just texted in saying now the next week Rogers has canceled their game with Fayetteville. So
I think I was in correspondence with Fayetteville, Bentonville West being canceled. I think.
Man, you've had
I think I don't want to misspeak. And Doug, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it had something to do with this week being canceled and heading into next week. I think. I could be wrong in saying that.
So here we are. We're 2 days before the start of the SEC season. Do you make it through the entire season? Yep. I know that's what Greg Sankey said. He was asked on the teleconference, what makes this a successful season? He said, if we crown a champion. Hopefully everybody's still alive when the champion is crowned. I would say that would make it successful, too.
I think you'll finish it. I genuinely think you will.
Be successful. You got one more day to do it by going to hitthatline.com and enter the Traegerwood Ironwood 650 pellet grill contest. This thing's valued at just under $1,200, and it's right in time for football season. Thanks to Brad's Home Entertainment in Mountain Home and hitthatline.com. All you got to do is register on the website, click on the Traeger Grill button, and you are entered. The winner will be announced tomorrow morning. Tommy and Ty on the Morning Rush let you know who wins. Find the full line of Traeger grills, spices, pellets, and accessories at Brad's Home Entertainment, right there next to Walmart and Mountain Home, and also at bradstv.com. Some baseball updates on halftime next.
I love Arkansas! At Frank Roll Furniture, everything is on sale. Why order when you can have it today? We carry refrigerators, French doors, GE washers and dryers, 100% made in USA, speed clean laundry, gas cold top and smooth top ranges, dishwashers, mattresses, recliners, big man recliners, lift chairs, sofa and loves, recliner sofa and loves, beds, chests, dressers, mirrors, nightstands, headboards, and table and chairs. Your one-stop store for all your furniture and appliances. Frank Roll Furniture, best seats in the house.
A little girl asked me one time, Pastor, does the devil have a mother? I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second, yes, he does. Her name is Pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
In September at Frank Roll Furniture, everything is on sale. Why order when you can have it today? We carry refrigerators, French doors, GE washers and dryers, 100% made in USA, speed clean laundry, gas cold top and smooth top ranges, dishwashers, mattresses, recliners, big man recliners, lift chairs, sofa and loves, recliner sofa and loves, beds, chests, dressers, mirrors, nightstands, headboards, and table and chairs. Your one-stop store for all your furniture and appliances. Frank Roll Furniture, best seats in the house.
A little girl asked me one time, Pastor, does the devil have a mother? I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second, yes, he does. Her name is Pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers. Check out our side-by-side UTVs, Argo Amphibious XTVs, and Hammerhead go-karts. We rent professional quality equipment and service everything we sell. Stop by today. Get the R-Track advantage.
Off I-40 at exit 58 at 219 East Taylor Road in Clarksville. You can check out their inventory online at rtrack.com.
In September at Frank Roll Furniture, everything is on sale. Why order when you can have it today? We carry refrigerators, French doors, GE washers and dryers, 100% made in USA, speed clean laundry, gas cold top and smooth top ranges, dishwashers, mattresses, recliners, big man recliners, lift chairs, sofa and loves, recliner sofa and loves, beds, chests, dressers, mirrors, nightstands, headboards, and table and chairs. Your one-stop store for all your furniture and appliances. Frank Roll Furniture, best seats in the house.
A little girl asked me one time, Pastor, does the devil have a mother? I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second, yes, he does. Her name is Pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
When you're looking for outdoor power equipment, head to R-Track, where we've got the area's best selection of tractors and mowers.
I'm perfectly happy in lockdown situations until I'm forced to go into a Zoom meeting.
Thing full speed, we're not allowed there, so
I heard nothing. Everything you said for the last 10 minutes.
Audio's gone. The ones who want video conferences
What's up, Nate?
are the ones I delete right away.
We can't see you. I would like it to be repeated so that I can take notes. We can't see you, Karen.
I don't like other people.
Am I supposed to ask who has the next one? I think you're muted.
Mute yourself. Mute.
Bob, you are muted, sir.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear.
Okay, just gotta cut some slack to that old guy like me. It doesn't know much.
The button.
She can't hear me, Howard.
Okay, it's Bob again. I think I'm unmuted now. I figured it out.
Oh my God.
You call Daniel on his cell. Call Daniel on his cell. How do we turn this feed off?
Wow. We can't.
Oh, hell no.
Daniel. Oh my God. Daniel is the host. Holy shit.
A little segment intro is I think we can title that Zoom Hell, which basically we've all had to live in, some more than others, in the last 7 months. And that piece is dedicated to the Sports Information Department staff at the University of Arkansas for dealing with all of the Arkansas media members who aren't quite sure. By now they probably know how to mute and unmute themselves and how to put how to get the microphone on properly and everything.
I would just say, and I'll play this audio here in just a second. There's nothing better than the Nate Allen gaffe.
Oh gosh, the audio's gone. I don't think Nate listens to the show. We're not. Hey, this is one of the aspects of halftime, and Bob does come on the show. We played Bob's few of those little missteps. One of the rules, and I think this is probably, we got to codify this rule system at some point, the halftime laws. Top of the list, if we're not making fun of you, we don't like you.
Right.
So Nate Allen, Bob Holt.
It's all out of love.
We obviously love you tons. But we hate Zoom. Am I right about that? Like, it's a miserable place for meeting.
I have no problems with it, but I'm a 27-year-old guy that has been around Zoom for 3 or 4 years in education before I came here, so I'm used to it.
I just don't like having to feel like I'm watching the opening credits of the Brady Bunch all the time, or it's like a continuous loop of Hollywood squares. You should be able to just look at one person, and I know you can control it in a way where you look at one person all the time, but I don't know. I could do without the whole Zoom thing. I like to be able to sit in a room and actually look at a person and maybe even know what they smell like. So I was going to get into this in the next segment. Maybe it's worth bringing it up now. So, do we call him Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, Prime Time?
Yeah, we could do that.
Now the new head coach at Jackson State University. He said, this is one of the greatest all-time quotations from a press conference. And I didn't find the sound, so I can't play it. It would sound a lot better coming from Primetime. He says at his opening press conference that confidence is my odor.
What?
These are words from Deion Sanders. Confidence is my odor.
I mean, of all the people to say that statement, I have no problem with Deion Sanders saying that.
Does he wake up in the morning and just douse himself with liquid confidence under the pits and every other place that the sun doesn't shine? I mean, really here. What is the scent of confidence? What does that smell like?
Apparently, I was trying to find the Ricky Bobby. I wake up in the morning. I was trying to find that clip. Apparently, I mean, it's Deion Sanders. I mean,
it's a great recruiting. Honest, that's the best way to go into a kid's house and recruit him.
I
say,
wake
look,
up in the morning, excellent.
That's what I was trying to find.
Yeah, you go into a kid's house and you say, you know what, this house doesn't quite smell right. I think you need a little more confidence in your life. Come over here and get a whiff of my pits. That's Deion Sanders' recruiting pitch.
Introducing this new flavor of Deion.
Either that or maybe just bringing in Warren Sapp and Terrell Owens to the coaching staff.
That
network.
is.
Although, is that even really happening? Like, that's become the real intriguing part about Hall of Famer Deion Sanders now being a head coach in college for the first time at a historically black university in Jackson State, and bringing on maybe other Hall of Famers. Is T.O. a Hall of Famer yet? I think he is,
yes,
right?
He
just got inducted a couple years ago.
That's correct.
But this is intriguing because there was a media member that covers that program in Jackson that tweeted out about T.O. and Sapp and a couple of other well-known football guys joining the staff with Deion Sanders, and then Sanders says this is not true. At least they haven't been hired yet. But if you could imagine, like, a coaching staff with one Hall of Famer would be enough to gin up some excitement. You're talking about 3 of the best of the last 30 years.
In their respective positions, too.
At their respective positions for, and I don't know much about Jackson State football, but, hey, the SWAC is not, the SWAC is not one of the strongest conferences in football. And I think that the level of football played at the HBUCs is not quite at the level that it had been back in the days when, in the 60s and 70s, you had a lot of really good NFL players come out of the SWAC and the MEAC and schools like that. So maybe there's more of a push to get more talented kids to those programs. And I did see where a freshman that had committed to Mississippi State but opted out because of the pandemic, a 3-star defensive back, just announced his transfer to Jackson State. So, I mean, it's a 3-star. I honestly don't know how many 3-star prospects the SWAC schools get. So maybe it's already paying some dividends.
It's notoriety for one thing. I mean, you just hired Deion Sanders. I mean, that's it in itself right there. You bring up the interesting point, though. I mean, he between all these Hall of Fame friends and coaches and former players that he has, why wouldn't you want to go play for Jackson State now? I mean, yes, you're not going to get the same publicity maybe as you would if you went to Alabama, Arkansas, UCA, Arkansas, like some of those schools. But if you're wanting to try to get to the next level or just want to live the best opportunity you could playing football, where the hell else would you go?
Can I play devil's advocate for a moment here? What about the idea that maybe these guys aren't good coaches and we just don't know it yet? I mean, you never know until you try, right?
That's a good point, yeah.
But just because you're a great player
Very true.
doesn't mean you're going to turn into a great coach. Also, just because you can teach the position that you played doesn't mean that you're going to be a great coach inside the team structure.
It's a valid point.
This feels like it could be a risk. Like, I know Deion, is he the head coach at that high school in Texas?
I think he's the OC, if I'm not mistaken.
The OC. So he's never been a head coach. I mean, he's going to have to worry about clock management. He's going to have to worry about subbing guys in and out, how you delegate authority. This is all stuff that head coaches don't know how to do until they start doing it. So maybe he can, maybe he can't. It's the same idea with T.O. Like, I'm imagining T.O. one-on-one is a great teacher about how to run routes, the ins and the outs of being a receiver. But what about 1-on-10? What about 1-on-10? What about Warren Sapp? I'm sure he's been great at working on techniques and everything on how to get past an offensive line. But what about doing that with 15 other players and some of those guys don't understand the techniques you're trying to teach them? It's not a slam dunk. It never is a slam dunk when Hall of Famers turn into coaches. It does give a lot of publicity. It is cool to see what this might be like. We will follow that. But it's not going to lead to automatic success, and it might actually just blow up in their faces.
It'd be the same thing to bring in more on an Arkansas level, and Ty's brought this up because Ty has an enormous man crush on Darren McFadden, and rightfully so. He's one of the greatest Razorbacks of all time to be at the running back position, whatever. That doesn't necessarily mean that if D-Mac came back to be a GA, a volunteer head coach, volunteer running backs coach or whatever, that it's not necessarily going to translate. You're 100% right in that argument. Peyton Hillis the same way because, what was that, a month ago, 2 months ago when Peyton Hillis came out, said the things about Arkansas, he's never been contacted back to come back and coach, blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing. He could be a great coach and deserves the opportunity, probably so. But that doesn't necessarily mean that if Darren McFadden was to come back to Arkansas, that Rakeem Boyd's fixing to be the next coming of Barry Sanders on the field or something like that.
That's right. You know what I think will be fun? They're going to have to win a game first. Like the post-game celebrations led by Deion. Could we watch Deion high step 50 yards into the end zone after a Jackson State win? Put that hand behind his head the way he used to do, get the high step going. Yep. Nobody celebrated like Deion.
Well, I think
Nobody.
I think the thing to keep in mind, Did you see his entrance into the press conference?
Oh, my God. He drove his Escalade right up to the podium.
There's your thing. So when Jackson State wins its first ball game, it's going to be Escalades. Oh, my God. It's going to be out of this world.
At least it wasn't a chauffeur, right? By the way, also, this will be interesting to see how, because he left the NFL Network because they were going to cut his 7-figure salary in half. And then he's joined Barstool. Those jerks at Barstool, he's joined them making a podcast with that jackass Portnoy and Big Cat, who I actually like. Will he be able to do both at the same time? Like primetime podcast on Sundays, the day after he's coached Jackson State against Grambling or something.
Hey,
it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Real quick, want to get this out here. We talked about coaching, like buyouts and different things like that. Tennessee has just extended Jeremy Pruitt on a 2-year deal, giving him a $400,000 annual raise.
Interesting. Hey, if you're going to watch the game this weekend, and who isn't, go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge in the Fort. They are opening at 2:30 for the Arkansas UGA football game with limited seating around the big TV, so make sure you make your plans now. Get there a little bit early. Happy hour drinks during the game. Bringing back the Tostitos Bowl Frito Chili Pie for just $8. That's Saturday, Arkansas, Georgia, 906 Cocktail Cigar Lounge. Find them on Facebook for their specials and events. And we are back for more halftime after this.
Build your business with 100% fiber, internet, voice, and cloud services from Ritter Communications. Whether you're a one-man woodworking shop who needs fast, reliable internet complete with TV service, or you're a construction enterprise needing managed voice and networking to connect your multiple sites, our helpful, Arkansas-based team will create a custom solution for you. Visit RitterBusiness.com or give them a call at 888-336-4249 to learn more.
When we rise above alcohol and drugs, we reach for, expect, achieve, and accomplish more. The minute we think about using alcohol or drugs, we lower our chance of living our best life. When we rise above, we respect ourselves and live our best life, not a stressed life. Being drug and alcohol free has always been the best way to be. Hey, it's my best me. Let's do this. Join the RAAD movement. Challenge yourself to rise above alcohol and drugs. To learn more, find and like us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Region 2 Partners for Success, and you can reach us at 870-391-3176.
Whitson Morgan Motor Company, your 2020 Dealer Rater Dealer of the Year, has 4 great locations in the River Valley, giving you a huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Choose from Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Chevrolet vehicles right now at Whitson Morgan Motor Company. See their reviews and compare with others. That many people can't be wrong. Visit Whitson Morgan in Clarksville, Ozark, and Russellville, or log on at whitsonmorgan.com for selections and great deals to serve you today.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Randall Ford is excited to announce their state-of-the-art mobile service van, stocked with all the latest tools and technology needed to service your vehicle. Everything from oil changes, warranty repair, battery, software updates, brake jobs, and so much more. All is done with your convenience and safety in mind. We'll come to your office or home to provide professional service the Randall Ford way. Stop by today at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue, or check us out online 24/7. RandallFord.com. Ford, the #1 selling brand in America.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hello, sports fans. I know you are ready for sports to return. Hi, this is Sherry Traylor
with Floyd Trailer Honda, and we have been proud to be your local hometown dealer for over 43 years. Come out and see us at 3200 South Zero Street and see all of our models we have in stock. Or give us a call at 479-434-5975. And you can check out our full inventory online at trailerhonda.net. And remember to please buy local.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Jenkins.
Shot clock to 10. Back to the baseline. Spits it out to Stewart. Right side, Thurman. He's open for three. Good! Scotty Thurman with his third three. Arkansas leads it by 3 with 48 seconds to go.
Coming into the home stretch here on Halftime on a Thursday. Get with us at 877-377-6963. Why are the Pirates winning games all of a sudden, SmackDown? What is wrong with this group of idiots? Why do you do this when you need to get the first overall pick and prove me right by holding the worst record in Major League Baseball? What's going on with them?
How mad are you going to be if they pull the second overall pick?
I'm going to be furious. I'm already upset because they've got to lose their last 4 games in order to finish with that record of at least worse than 70% losing percentage. That's thanks to winning 2 in a row against the Cubs. And by the way, for you Cubs fans, I know you're in the playoffs. Ain't going to last very long. This team can't hit anymore. Cubs lose 2-1 last night. Adam Frazier, Brian Hayes, first inning home runs. Cubs managed 5 hits, and that's it, against Trevor Williams and 4 relievers. So, back to the Cubs here. The Chicago Cubs, in their last 20 games, have been held to 3 or fewer runs in 13 of them. They've lost 10 of those 13 games. Not a nice way to be heading into the postseason, especially when you lose 2 in a row to the worst team in baseball. So I think the Cubs may end up going 3 and out in that first round if you can't win at least 2 of 3 against this miserable Little League wannabe team that serves Pittsburgh. You're not going anywhere in the playoffs.
Hey, I mean, no, Pirates got a good, solid team here. They're only
17. In what universe is this a good, solid team?
They're 17 and 39. They could be
150
worse.
Hitters.
They could be worse. They could be the Red Sox.
I think I've told you this before. This team would have trouble winning a single A league. 17 wins, 39 losses, losing percentage of .696. 4 games left. Got to lose them all to finish over 70%. Now, the Rangers lost 2. So the Pirates have a 2-game lead for the worst record in baseball against the Rangers, and therefore the top overall pick in the draft next year, which is going to be Vanderbilt's Kumar Rocker.
Would you be fine with that heading to the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Him?
Yeah.
I'd feel bad for him until he gets traded because he'll stink with the Pirates, and then he'll win 3 Cy Young Awards and a couple World Series with whoever it is they trade him to.
The tide's got to turn eventually for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't have to change. This can just keep getting worse and worse and worse.
But I wait for the day when the Pirates may actually make a World Series just to see the excitement in your eyes.
How much time do you have? How much longer do you expect to live? I think I got another 40 years at tops. We'll see. You want to do a 40-year bet?
That the Pirates will make the World Series within 40 years?
That they won't.
That they won't? Oh,
no. Absolutely.
You can't sit there and say, you really don't think the Pirates have a shot at making the World Series in 40 years?
I'm just taking my complete lack of faith in this team and expanding it out for the rest of my life. That's how I feel about them. That's why I'll just enjoy watching other teams. Which involve good teams, like maybe the Cardinals, although you got to worry about the Cardinals after Carlos Martinez got shelled by Kansas City yesterday with 8 runs, 9 hits, and a couple of homers by Salvador Perez in 5 innings. Martinez ERA close to 10, but just the second loss in 6 games for St. Louis. They have been hitting the ball fairly well, and they have been getting good pitching from Adam Wainwright and Kwang Young Kim, if I said his name correctly. They need Jack Flaherty to turn back into Jack Flaherty. Otherwise, it could be a early exit for them, too. We did have a division clinched yesterday. The Tampa Bay Rays clinched by defeating the New York Mets 8-5, and that was the only clinching yesterday in Major League Baseball. So just to review your playoff berths, the Rays have clinched the AL East. The Yankees are going to be the second-place team in the AL East. They will be a playoff team. Twins stepped ahead of the White Sox in the standings yesterday, so That's pretty big. You got the White Sox as the second-place team, therefore also a wild card. Oakland leading the West. Cleveland is a wild card. Houston and Toronto are the last 2 wild card teams, 3.5 games ahead of the Angels. The National League continues to be crazy. Dodgers have clinched the best record in the National League and therefore the NL West title. The Braves are the NL East champions. Padres and Cubs have also clinched playoff berths with the Cardinals, Giants, and Reds, each with a 1-game wild card lead over Philadelphia and Milwaukee. The Marlins have slipped, but they still have a half-game lead over Philly and Milwaukee for that last wild card spot.
Isn't that crazy for all the crap that we gave the Marlins preseason with the COVID outbreak and then looking like the Razorbacks down south in there, and they're a half game ahead in the wild card to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for them to do it, though, but we'll see. You got Dallas Keuchel on the mound today for the White Sox. Big game against Cleveland and Zach Plesac. Twins lead that division by half a game. No-hitter alert. No-hitter alert because the Pirates are going up against Allen Mills of the Cubs today. Actually, the first pitch should have been thrown right about now. Remember the last time that happened that he faced them? You remember what happened?
Yeah, I vividly. I think you predicted it too, didn't you?
Well, actually, no. Mills didn't throw the no-hitter against the Pirates. He threw it against Milwaukee. That's right. It was Lucas Giolito that no-hit the Pirates.
Giolito, that's right, yeah.
Mills did throw a no-hitter his last start. So let's put it on notice right now. Maybe the Pirates get no-hit twice in the same year. I could smile about that. I'd be okay if they got the second overall pick if they got no-hit twice in the same year.
Worth a shot, I guess.
I guess it is. So Sunday, I wanted to get into this here. Yes. We'll do halftime homework in the next segment, but this feels more like a continuation of halftime homework. I got a bunch of stuff for halftime homework, which also reminds me to ask you, SmackDown, if you did your halftime homework last week, which is to watch 10 George Carlin comedy routines. You did? Okay, good.
Loved
I'm
them.
glad.
Absolutely, yeah, loved them.
I feel good about that.
And I had seen George Carlin a couple times, just Googling different things and YouTube and different things, but 7 words that you can't say on television is just classic. Love that one. Heck, they're all good. And George, I mean, there's not a lot of comedians like George Carlin now. He was one in a million, I think, and I think is that a fair thing to say? Just kind of, there's nobody like him. And I don't think there will ever be anybody like him again.
That's right. Do you understand what I was saying though when you watch those 10 pieces? And I told you, if you ever wanted to get an idea of why I am the way that I am, you watch enough George Carlin routines, you'll figure it out.
I understand.
Yes. You will figure it out. Hey, he got his start in radio. That's where he started. I'm not going into stand-up comedy.
Maybe you're the next George Carlin.
I doubt it. I think I'm a few years behind when I needed to be.
Hey, better late than never.
I'm just not as smart as he was either. So the other thing that I need to get into here, and I feel bad about this because this is halftime homework. I was listening to The Rush today.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We really want to bring this up?
What movie is this from? When I say the words, cut me, Mick, what do you think?
Rocky.
And this is out there to the listeners, too. What do you think when you hear those words, cut me, Mick?
Cut me, Mick.
You think of one of the greatest movies that has ever been made, not just involving boxing, not just involving sports, not just involving Sylvester Stallone, but any movie that has ever been made in the history of humankind, especially for sports talk show hosts.
Who are you referring to?
This movie is called Rocky, for those who are unaware of it. If you've never heard of this movie before, it's an underdog story of essentially a tomato can palooka boxer who works on the side as an enforcer for the mob in Philadelphia. And the world champion, the world heavyweight champion, a fellow named Apollo Creed, who, by the way, played Gale Sayers in Brian's song, Billy D. Williams, invites him to fight on, what was it, Independence Day 76?
Yes.
And it's a Cinderella story. It is the greatest Cinderella story in the history of sports movies. It is within the top 10 of the greatest movies ever made, whether sports or not. And I will say this about my friend, Ty Richardson, who is my friend. and I will be meeting him on Sunday to allow my esophagus to completely disintegrate thanks to Scoville units up to 5 million and sauce made out of the surface of the sun on chicken wings. But at least I am not the only sports show host in the world who has not seen the movie Rocky.
Yeah.
Do you think there is another sports show host in the country, I said the world, who has not seen the movie Rocky? Maybe if there's like a 6-year-old sports host out there, that's it. Otherwise, it should be.
Well, he is the youngest
on
radio
the halftime laws.
He is the youngest radio host in the state of Arkansas, so he might be. All three of us have seen every Rocky ever made. I still haven't seen the new Creed movies yet.
The biggest problem here is that he doesn't apparently think it's a big deal that he hasn't seen Rocky. So here's what's happening Sunday. Ty, I hope you're listening. After we're done at B-Dubs, I am going to kidnap you. I am dragging you to my place. I am going to throw you into the couch.
Whoa.
I'm going to duct tape you into the couch and pry your eyes open with toothpicks and force you.
Oh, my God.
Force you to watch the movie Rocky. This is a public service for you, for the station, for the listeners.
Wow.
You got to see it. And if you say no, I'm pulling you in there against your will. Halftime homework after the break. Stay tuned.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Are you ready to take the next step? Want to make real money? How about averaging $2,800 per week? United Welding Institute is accepting new students to shape into high-paid career welders. Graduates of United Welding Institute find great-paying jobs in the oil field, power plants, refineries, pipelines, and more. United Welding Institute in Pottsville, Arkansas has been training professional field-tested welders since 2013. Change your life and call 479-968-3390 or visit UnitedWeldingInstitute.com.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunity, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Hertz Car Sales has been serving the River Valley for over 40 years and takes pride in offering exceptional service. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, crossover, or SUV, Hertz offers a big selection of the most popular brands. They're friendly, offer a no-pressure car shopping experience, and their vehicles are high quality and priced competitively. New inventory is arriving daily and trade-ins are always welcome. So make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard, give them a call at 783-1722, or check out their line of quality pre-owned vehicles at buyfromhertz.com.
Winter is just around the corner. At AOG, we realize some customers are facing new challenges because of the pandemic. We're here to help. Our customer service team can offer you a wide array of payment options or direct you to utility payment assistance agencies in your area for help. Please call us at 1-800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com. Thank you for being a valued AOG customer. We're all in this together.
Ben Guerin Community Complex, the former First Tee of Fort Smith, is now open. Need a facility for your next civic or business event or a place for your next party? The newly remodeled facility at the Ben Guerin Community Complex has spacious rooms for your next meeting or birthday party, and you can take it outside to the remodeled deck for a cookout and enjoyable time. Take advantage of the practice facility and work on your game or get in a quick 9 holes of golf on the updated course. All this and more at the Ben Guerin Community Complex at Ben Guerin Park.
Shady Point Body Shop reminds you the average shelf life of blood is only 42 days. There must be steady donations to meet the continuing needs of the community. Give the gift of life and give blood. This message is brought to you from Shady Point Body Shop, 26875 Reagan Street at US Highway 59 in Shady Point. Proudly serving the community for more than 17 years with over 29 years of experience. Stop by or call them at 963-2924.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Loyalty to any one sports team is pretty hard to justify because the players are always changing. The team can move to another city. You're actually rooting for the clothes when you get right down to it. You know what I mean? You are standing and cheering and yelling for your clothes to beat the clothes from another city. Fans will be so in love with a player, but if he goes to another team, they boo him. This is the same human being in a different shirt. They hate him now. Boo! Different shirt! Boo!
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Smackdown.
All right, I misspoke in that last segment. Thanks to a couple of the listeners that texted in and heard it, and I can't be the only person who crossed up Carl Weathers with Billy D. Williams. Yeah, it was Carl Weathers that was Apollo Creed. Billy D. Williams was Gale Sayers, and of course was Lando Calrissian, and then Carl Weathers was also Action Jackson, for those who remember that incredible 1987 action movie with Vanity and Craig T. Nelson and Sharon Stone.
Carl Weathers is also in the new Mandalorian, so that's probably where you got confused.
That's exactly where I got confused. By the way, speaking of Sharon Stone movies from around that time, I tried to rewatch Total Recall a couple of days ago.
I love that movie. It's been on a lot lately.
I can't finish it, man. It doesn't hold up, not for me. And that's my first date movie, by the way.
You know what's funny
first
to me?
Date,
it does
Total
hold
Recall.
up, and it was directed by the same guy that did RoboCop, so it's got all that over the top, gun violence and stuff.
Yeah, it's also
different kinds of aliens in it with extra body parts.
All kinds of weird aliens on that one. Yeah. Okay, so I did get that one wrong. I felt bad about it. And now I don't feel bad about it anymore. Do we have a winner? Hardy's Lunch Bunch coming up right now. All right, gather around the transistor. We got a winner.
Yeah, I was making sure the transistor was tuned in. Yes, we do got a winner for the Hardy's Lunch Bunch. You can head to hitthatline.com and register for next week's big giveaway. We'll have a winner each Thursday here on Halftime. Head to hitthatline.com, leave us your info, and we'll pick another winner next Thursday to win Hardy's Lunch for your office bunch, your job site. And that's only at hitthatline.com. And that's courtesy of your best friends at Hardy's in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And this week's big winner is the one and only Matt Shepard of Ryerson in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Congratulations to you, my friend, Matt Shepard of Ryerson in Fort Smith, Arkansas. You're the next big winner for the Hardy's Lunch Bunch. He seems to be the best friend over there.
Very good. All right, so they got to be pretty happy with that.
Hey,
all right, so go ahead.
No, I was going to say real quick also, you brought up B-Dubs last week. Which B-Dubs are you guys going to be at? Is it the one here in Fort Smith or y'all going to be in?
Fayetteville, Joyce Boulevard.
Fayetteville, Joyce Boulevard, so you can be there for that.
Everybody come on out and root me on and pick me up off the floor after I pass out.
Maddie, can we classify this as like Phil versus food? Or is that too much close to man versus food?
No, this is an original idea.
It's an original idea.
Yeah.
So Phil versus food.
Look, the odds aren't even allowed out. I've already lost. There's no way that Phil beats food.
What would you
5 million Scoville.
So what would you classify as successful? Keeping one down?
Living to Monday.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just going to be as basic as possible. I would just like to stay alive after eating a piece of the sun.
He's going to be eating the Carolina Reaper sauce as a bet from him and Todd previously on Halftime Game Day Picks. They've got new sauces. They've got the pizza sauce, lemon pepper, and orange sauce. Today, Maddie, is our favorite day of the week. It is Boneless Thursday. It's one of our favorite things to get down there for here on a Thursday. They've got tons of different options with the fan favorite smoked brisket burger, the Southern chicken sandwich. They got cauliflower wings with their mouth-watering Zing Zang sauce. All kinds of options for you at Buffalo Wild Wings. You can find locations in Fort Smith, Little Rock, Sherwood, Jonesboro, and in Conway, and that's only at Buffalo Wild Wings.
So what do I bring on Sunday to mitigate the digestive disaster that I'm going to deal with? A friend of mine has said Pepto and Gaviscon, one for on the way in, the other for on the way out. If anybody else has any tips on how to handle this, this is going to be the spiciest, most painful food I've ever eaten in my life, and I need your help.
I was going to dedicate a whole segment to you tomorrow for that reason right there, just like how do you combat the heat? And I want to say someone yesterday said something about, I don't remember who it was, I thought I read for ketchup. I could be misspeaking. I thought I saw
that had to be a joke.
I don't know.
I think there's a little too much vinegar and acid in that to help with spiciness. I might as well just rub it on a cut, right? See if that helps.
Only thing I know is bread and milk. That's the only two things I know that combats heat. Now, the Pepto-Bismol thing's probably good when on the way out.
The only thing that's going to help is time. That's what it is. And the only other thing that'll help is picking winners for this upcoming season, so I have to do this stupid crap ever again. All right, let's get into the last segment here. And it is time for your Thursday halftime homework.
What kind of homework assignment? I have a tough assignment. I'm thinking we should talk about the homework assignment.
Dude, did you do all your homework last night?
I'm not doing it. This is hard.
You really did your homework, didn't you?
It's time for halftime homework.
What do you boys have for me today?
I had a question for our listeners. Who is the greatest dressed head coach that you can remember? Now, we just had one at Arkansas, coaching the basketball team who's now at St. John's. And I don't say this in any negative thing about the way Muss dresses, because I'm a dressed-down guy. I'm T-shirt and jeans and polo shirt and all that stuff, and I just don't like wearing a suit. I got a couple. I couldn't tell you the last time I wore one. I do know how to tie a tie. But it's been a minute or 200,000 since the last time I wore one. So Mike Anderson is maybe the greatest dressed head coach that I've ever worked with on a one-on-one basis.
Okay.
But I started thinking about this yesterday. Did you see the photos of Bill Belichick?
Oh, my God.
From his most recent New England press conference. I mean, the guy just looked like he just throws on the shirt that he's gardened in for 30 years and just got out of bed after sleeping for a week. He legitimately doesn't care what he looks like, and more power to him. You win 6 Super Bowls, you could show up at the press conference naked, and nobody's going to care. Not like he would really give you a soundbite that illustrates why he's naked or anything like that, but right. He would give you, he would just mumble into the microphone and say something he has said 30,000 times to make us think, I always do this. I'm always naked at press conferences. What do you want? So, I mean, there used to be a time where coaches dressed up for games. We are a long ways off from that. Are there any NFL coaches or college football coaches that wear the suit and tie that we used to see from guys like Bear Bryant and Johnny Majors and Tom Landry?
When you brought up the good, well-dressed head coach, my mind immediately went, and it's probably just biased because I just saw it on ESPN Plus, but Howard Schellenberger from Miami.
Schellenberger dressed well. I mean, that was in an era where a lot of coaches dressed well, but then there were some that just stood out more than others. I would say I think Tom Landry is probably the best dressed head coach ever. Always looked so perfect with that. Was that a fedora? I don't remember what the style hat that he wore, but it always had that gray on. Always looked very distinguished, and I mean it's from a completely different era of coaches. And Landry played, so it wasn't a matter of him, being above the players or anything like that. I just think it was a different mindset then. I mean, baseball is a sport where it used to be the managers all wore the uniform. Now a lot of them don't want to put the full uniform on because their bellies are too big, so they just wear the windbreaker on top of the baseball pants and walk out to the field like that. And I think they look a little bit silly doing that. I'd rather see you actually in the jersey. But baseball's like the only sport where the manager or the head coach wears the uniform. But then go back and look at pictures of Connie Mack. Connie Mack has managed the most games in the history of baseball, has the most wins, the most losses. He owned the freaking team while he managed them. So, I mean, these records will never be broken. He managed the Philadelphia A's for over 50 years. And he also was a player. His name was Connie Mack, but he was Cornelius McGillicuddy before he changed his name. And he wore a 3-piece suit to every single game that he managed in the dugout. in like 105-degree heat at times. While the players were wearing wool uniforms, he had on the 3-piece suit. So the last guy that I remember seeing on an NFL sideline that wore something like that was Mike Nolan. You remember he used to be the head coach of the 49ers a while back. I think his dad used to dress up the same way, but nobody dresses up like this. And it's more of a product of the times we live in right now. Now it's all dressed down, Zoom. Nobody's dressing up for Zoom press conferences or anything like that. There's not going to be a single tie on the sideline this year. And I guess I'm okay with that since, again, it's been a while since I did. Last thing to get to here on Halftime Homework, and this kind of, I think, snuck up on a lot of people. My Steelers have the Houston Texans on Sunday. We're going to be watching the game at B-Dubs. Ben Roethlisberger is going to play in his 221st game with the Steelers, which will break the record that was set by Mike Webster, Hall of Fame center. He's played this his 18th year. It's one of the all-time franchises, and he's now taking over as the guy who played in more games than any other Steeler. And, hey, I know Roethlisberger's won 2 Super Bowls and Bradshaw won 4. I would still take Roethlisberger over Bradshaw. Also, there are only, and I'm going to give you, this is a trivia question for you, SmackDown. You're an NFL fan. All
yes.
Right. So there are only 3 other quarterbacks who have played more games for one franchise than Ben Roethlisberger. Who are they?
Who? 3 more that have played. Oh, okay.
You'll kick yourself when you know the names if you don't get them all.
Part of me.
2 of them came from a very famous quarterback draft class from the early 80s.
Oh, Dan Marino?
That's the first. 240 games with the Dolphins, more than any other quarterback.
Let's go. Crap.
Eli Manning.
And I was
234 games with the Giants, same draft class as Roethlisberger, and John Elway.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
231 games with the Broncos. So Roethlisberger's at 221. If he plays all 16 games this year, he'll tie Eli Manning.
Wow.
The second most games played with one NFL franchise.
Interesting.
And there are only 3 players in the NFL now that have played more games with their current team. Larry Fitz, Don Muhlbach, and LP Laducor. Those are 2 long snappers. Hey. For SmackDown and Matty T, this is Phil. Back with you tomorrow.
World of Wireless right at the light next door to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling. It's a busy time of the year. On the go to